Hey everyone, it is time again to do some Sudowrite updates. So this is what has happened so far in the month of March. They're definitely not finished yet, but I'll save any other updates for the following month. There are some quick minor fixes and quality of life improvements. For instance, initially, if you play around with resizing these things, had them however you wanted it, but you collapse the sides. Whenever you would pop it up, generally it wouldn't pop up the same size. It would usually be smaller like this. But now, as you can see, if I set it to a size, collapse it, bring it back, it's still that size. Another thing is quick edit and quick chat. So before you could click either one of these, but now you can also just use your tab key and rotate through whichever one you want to use. So again, just some quality of life improvements there. Part of this last Feature Friday or Fix It Friday, I honestly don't remember which one it was. They've been rotating through them. I believe it was Feature Friday because they did introduce some new features, and these were highly requested options that we had to choose from, and they ended up tackling a couple of them. So if you go through your projects right here, click the three dots, you will now see an export and a duplicate option. So I can duplicate this project. It says duplicating right here, and that'll pop up. Now it's done. I can also export. So click that export option. Now the export is going to export all of your documents into a zip file. It's not going to export your story Bible information such as your character box, synopsis, outline, things like that. So if you want those things exported, make sure you copy them into a document, and then they will all be here within the zip file. A couple of other things, or actually one other thing before we dive into the big character box, is we now have the option for folders. Come back to the screen. So before, we used to do a lot of this, the emojis and lines, just to separate things so it wasn't an extensive document list. Now, as you can see here, I have some folders. So you come here to the Add New. You have your usual blank document. I don't have the outline in here, so that's why it's not picking that chapter stuff up. But I can do a folder. I'll click the folder, pops up at the bottom. I can rename it to whatever I want. Let's do settings. Now, you can also have folders within folders. So I have the plotting here that doesn't actually have anything inside it, as you can see with the arrow. I can take this folder, drop it into the plotting one, and now all of my plotting details will be here sorted however I want. So I can have my outline in one, ideas to incorporate, whatever you want to do. Manuscript, you can drop in your chapters. You could do one. Let's do one for chapters themselves, because some of us like to do various versions of a chapter. So I can do chapter 1 here. And let's say as I'm generating all of my chapter 1 versions, I will put them in this folder. I could also put this folder inside the manuscript or leave it outside. And then as I get to my finalized version of chapter 1, I've done all the edits here. I'm ready. I'm happy with that one document. Then I could drop that one into the manuscript. Different ways for you to play around with this to help you organize everything over here in this navigation panel. Now, let's look at the character box. This is still a work in progress. Keep that in mind. There is no time frame for release yet. So this is the old character box. And this is the new if you have not seen it yet. Again, no timeline on being released just yet. They are still working out some bugs, as well as incorporating some additional features to this. If you have not been attending the community hangout or the characters update and feedback session that everyone is welcome to attend, you're missing out on seeing those demonstrations live. So they have some really good ideas for the future on this. You can see here, I just have a few boxes. These are actually the default ones. So up here, personality, background, physical description, dialogue style. Those are the defaults. Now, if you don't like this, for instance, I want all of these other things that I typically do for my characters. You click this customize button. and you can input. These will not populate automatically for you. You will click Add down here, name the field whatever you want it, remove any that you don't like from the defaults until you have a template that you are happy with. Then you would click Save New Defaults. That would save it so that every time you click Create a Character, it automatically populates it with those fields. And again, as you can see, these characters currently do not have those. So something I can do, if I go to Customize, I can click Add to Current Characters. And now they have those boxes as well. Not filled in since this was all copied in and I didn't generate anything there. But now I can sort it. So for instance, I like to have my separate simple line of dialogue, so I can just copy that in, do all that Enneagram type, archetypes. You don't need to separate them like this. This is just an option I wanted to show y'all. For instance, I actually usually have this up here in my personality, because that does typically affect their personality. Play around with this. The options really are almost unlimited as to what you can do. Let's look at, we can create the character, which populates a box. So if I click Create a Character, I'm just going to scroll down to where it will populate. Right here. So all Create Character does is brings up my fields for me to fill in. I'm telling it, hey, I want to create a new character. That means I need a field here. I can delete this. I'm just going to go ahead and collapse Ethan. Now, Generate Character. I'm going to click that. So whereas Create a Character just gives you that template so you can fill it in, Generate Character will actually attempt to generate a character from your synopsis or brain dump. So if you don't have anything in your synopsis, it's going to look at brain dump and start pulling things in. So this is actually one of the minor characters it pulled in right here, and it filled in all of those fields that I asked for. Customize here, scroll down to Add, put in whatever field you want, click Save New Defaults. If you already have some characters generated, you want those fields added to them, click Add to Current Characters. Create a Character just opens up a new blank template for you with that default template. Generate Character actually opens a template up and fills it in for you. And of course, make your changes so the character is as you envision it. As I said, the options are near limitless. I can't talk this morning, I'm sorry. Some things I've been playing around with. I was messing around with doing setting the other day. So I have my checker. So I did Whitechapel. So I wanted to let it know, where Whitechapel was located, the area I was looking at. I wanted to do the atmosphere, gave it some information of the setting during that time frame, and just some additional details. If we talked about coffin beds and coffin houses, I wanted the AI to know these things. This is all just straight Wikipedia copying as a test. And some additional information I wanted it to have. I also had this when I was playing around with it. I haven't tested the pros, but in this particular story, Jack the Ripper is supposedly arrested, but then there's an epilogue where additional murders take place that leaves the detective wondering if they caught the right person. So I wanted to have the descriptions of the additional murders. In this case, again, Wikipedia copying for testing purposes, and I wanted to see how well it would bring in these details for those additional murders. Some other things I have done is for my lit RPGs, not on this account, but I have done quests. So if you've written lit RPG or read it, the characters are in game and they typically go on different quests. So I wanted to play around with, okay, this is their first quest, their second, things like that. So I don't have to constantly add in all the details, possibly forget something. So I'm adding in what I think the AI needs to know. And hopefully those additional fields just help it add more depth to everything. Objects, of course. You can still do all your settings and everything like that as normal. There will be a separate setting template They just have not released that yet or haven't started the testing for it, so be on the lookout for that, but you can still do all of the same things you did in the prior character box, you can do those in the current one. Hopefully, y'all are looking forward to that. If you're in the beta, I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you find all of these updates helpful. Bye, everyone.